Hello everyone, this is Donnie aka Elevated with another video on behalf of Dota Alchemy, and this one is going to not be a meta report. I know meta report usually comes out on Monday, but because there is a major going on right now, I wanted to sort of see the entire major before I made a meta report about it, and so I decided that I would skip this week's meta report. But this is sort of a mini meta report because I think it's actually a really cool thing that I saw. And we're going to look at specifically DJ because he is playing Enigma. But he's not just playing Enigma 4, but he's playing Enigma in the jungle. And this is the first instance of jungling in professional Dota that we have seen in quite some time. So we can see him, he starts out here, and this is one of the first things. I picked this one because Enigma is actually being played quite a bit at the Dream League Major, and it's being played as a 4 a lot, and it's being played in this style a lot. But I thought that DJ played it with the highest level of sort of intricacy to his play. So he actually starts out with 2 rings of regen. And this is really important because it gives you 4 HP regen between the 2 of them, but it's not for him. He's actually going to pass them both over to MP's Lifestealer, who is his laning partner. And MP has started the game with 2 stout shields. That's pretty bizarre. But here's the deal. He now has an additional 4 HP regen because Rings of Regen and Rings of Health are shareable items. Enigma doesn't need these because he's not going to be taking any damage. Lifestealer, on the other hand, is going to be soloing the lane because DJ is going to be jungling. And here's where things get kind of fun. So we can see that MP has 6 HP regen, 6.5 HP regen, which is a lot. He's laning against an Ursa, which is normally a bad matchup, especially with a Grimstroke. This is a brutal lane to be against. However, because there is an Enigma in the lane, he's going to be pulling the lane back. So you can see that they're just waiting till Grimstroke is no longer in range. DJ is going to deny one of the creeps. And then this is the first little intricacy, or the second little intricacy if we include these Rings of Regen. This is not something, the rings is not something that any other team was doing that I saw. And then this is the second thing that I saw Roger do on VP playing for Enigma, but DJ also did in both games that I watched of him. And that is he takes one of the Eidolons and he hides it. And then he takes his other 2 Eidolons and he basically just goes and harasses the Ursa with them because Eidolons don't draw aggro from the creeps, so it's just basically free harass. And so we can see that as these Eidolons are getting closer and closer to timing out, DJ is actually running this solo Eidolon over here to block this camp. And DJ also body blocks the large camp. So neither one of these are pullable. And it's really important that you block this one as well, because obviously on the Radiant side, you can block, or you can pull this camp into the tower and pull the creeps that way. So now neither one of these is pullable. The lane is already going to be pushing back towards DJ's tower, and meaning the Lifestealer's tower, because they denied the range creep. He's going to head back here, deny another range creep, and he sent himself out 2 clarities. You can see that now the lane is in a perfect spot for MP to farm under his tower. And sure, the Ursa is going to pressure him a little bit, but this is about as safe as you could possibly ever want for a carry. And in fact, if you think about it, with how aggressive the safe lane has become, this lane, if you could keep the creeps under your tower, is probably safer to farm in than this lane is. So MP is just going to play kind of like an offlaner, but more like a safe lane carry because now the creeps are in a good spot. Now, Moose is doing something good here on Infamous. He's harassing DJ, and he's actually going to get this kill here. We're going to see him hit a nice stroke of fate off the creeps, killing DJ. But that doesn't really matter because all this time the creep wave is right here. As we can see, MP is getting denied a bit, but he's also just getting a bunch of levels with solo experience, and that's a really big deal. After realizing that Moose is just going to keep messing with him, he's got these illusions here to keep track of when DJ comes back. DJ is going to go to the lane to help his Lifestealer and bully the Ursa with his Eidolons. Knowing that Moose is somewhere else, DJ makes the call. All right, I'm going to go harass this Ursa now and help my life stealer win the lane. We can also see that he has the 2 rings of regen back because MP is now level 4. He has basically infinite sustain with his feast. He still has lots of tangos left. And here's the cool thing about this build is that DJ is going to go for a soul ring that requires 1 ring of regen. And then he's going to go for a headdress and into a Helm of the Dominator, which requires another ring of regen. So this is not just random items that are being bought. These are 2 items that he will use into his first 2 items that he's going to buy on Enigma. And now we're just going to speed through the next 4 minutes of DJ basically just jungling. You're going to watch him strictly jungle. And you can see that this has caused Fnatic to heavily win the experience game. They have essentially 4 cores in terms of levels. Meanwhile, PA has been kept down by the dual lane. Obviously, Ursa is level 6 because he's been mostly solo the whole time because Moose has been top. But this tri-lane is obviously making PA's life a lot slower. Meanwhile, DJ is giving his carry free farm and solo experience, while he's also getting free farm and solo experience himself. You can see that now Fnatic makes this switch. They bring Ice Ice Ice, who's been dominating this lane, down to the bottom lane. They take the tower. MP goes back to the safe lane where he can now freely farm because the laning stage is kind of broken down. Abed destroyed mid because he's really good at TA. And then this gives DJ a huge amount of space because the other team is dealing with this Brew bottom. Leshrac putting out a lot of pressure on their towers there. So you can see that DJ is now level 6. And they're just so strong. How is Infamous supposed to fight into this? They have a Magnus who doesn't have a Blink Dagger yet. They have a PA who has no items. They have an Ursa who joined drums. And even if he had a Blink Dagger, he wouldn't really be able to solo the entire Fnatic team. The 2 catapults, the Helm of the Dominator Aura, the Eidolons, they're going to take this tier 2 tower at 10 minutes into the game. And now, between the Leshrac and the Enigma and the TA, they have taken both mid-tier 1s, both mid-tier 2s, and secured a 7k gold lead for their team in 10 minutes. And there's actually not a whole lot that Infamous can really do. Moose did all he could to contest the Enigma, but if he leaves the lane, Enigma just comes and harasses Ursa. And if he comes to help his Ursa or goes to help his PA in the other lane, Enigma is just going to freely jungle. So you can see that now DJ is just going to go ahead and basically build regular Enigma items after this. But he's also going to take every opportunity to push with his team. So I think there's a few main reasons why this jungle Enigma specifically right now is working in the current meta. And it seems kind of weird because the meta is very early game fighting oriented. People like to fight a lot. If you actually think about it, Enigma does a couple main things. Number 1, he wins you a lane automatically by denying that experience and also keeping the lane back, which is a really big deal because if you can win the other 2 lanes, then it's very easy to win all 3 lanes with this hero. And all it means is that you just have to draft 2 winning lanes, which is a lot easier than drafting 3 winning lanes. And then you can just throw your Enigma in the lane that you have that's weakest, and suddenly that lane is now also a winning lane. So in addition to that, because of how the laning stage is generally functioning right now, which is that the first 5 or 6 minutes is fighting over the creeps and just kind of like being in the lanes, in these dual lanes, there isn't a whole lot of roaming to the mid lane because it's just too hard to gank early on. And tri-lanes do exist, but a lot of the time, if you are running a tri-lane, you end up at a disadvantage in experience and farm. And that is not good in the meta where fighting is very prevalent because if you're under-leveled around 10 minutes, you're going to have a hard time winning these really important fights, which actually end up snowballing the game. So in addition to that, Enigma just allows you to get more out of those first 5 or 6 minutes of the game because normally nobody's touching the jungle camps. But in this case, Enigma is also getting a core level of farm and experience from the jungle camps during this time. And then finally, with that core level farm, Enigma is going to allow you to pressure towers extremely early. And this sort of deathballing early push style is something that we also have seen be quite effective in the current meta. In every single one of these games, Enigma goes Soul Ring, Helm of Dominator, and then they buy regular Enigma items for the game, whether it's a Blink early, whether it's BKB early, whether it's more Aura items. Sometimes it's a Midas if they feel like the game's going to go longer. But you end up playing the game with 4 cores in the first 10 to 15 minutes of the game, which just means that you're stronger overall in the first 10 to 15 minutes of the game as well. So that's basically it, guys, and you can see that Fnatic is going to completely destroy this lane of Rax. They have the threat of the BKB Blink Enigma, and it's just going to make this fight nearly impossible for Infamous to take. They have a bunch of melee heroes. They're playing against an Enigma who's way too farmed. He's higher level than their offlaner. Same level as their cores. EJ's going to hit a massive black hole. Infamous is going to get completely stomped from the map. And this is not just this game. I want to remind you guys, Virtus Pro did this. Secret did this as well. Not just because they're playing against Infamous, who you might think is a weaker team at the major. They're actually not that bad. I just think it's super cool that there is some viability to jungling, and I wonder if we're going to see any other experimentation with this with a similar type of impact. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I won't recommend that you do this in pubs, but you know, you guys are going to do whatever you want to do. So, you know, try it out in pubs, see if you get reported or not, and see if you can win some games with Jungle Enigma. All right, good luck and have fun. We'll see you next time. Hello everyone, and thank you for watching the video. We genuinely appreciate your time and attention spent with us here on the YouTube channel.